What's up, y'all? Let's go, gang. Best morning live on the Tiki Taki. Unanimous. Junanimous. What up, Ted? Hello, my queen. I see you. Good morning, Jackie. You switched your profile pic. That confused me for like a hot second, but good morning. Get your coffee. Hello, my queen. All right, guys. Well, here we are, another episode of the Best Morning Live on TikTok. If you don't remember for some reason, I don't know why, we are streaming on YouTube. This is now being considered the best morning live on YouTube as well. We're dominating two platforms. I do too, Contre. Thank you. Thank you for shooting that feeling out there. Amen. 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 Hallelujah. Top of the morning. Top of the morning to you. Amen. What up, Germ? What up, Gilberto? God bless, brother. Hope y'all are having an amazing day, amazing morning. I'm prayed up. I'm studied up. I'm not coffeeed up all the way, but I got coffee. What's up, Bryce? Good morning, brother. Good morning. Man, I hope we get some ops today very soon. Or did we chase all the ops away? Because we had a new batch of ops yesterday. You feel me? We have some new bad guys introduced to the scene. Some new bad guys. And the good guys won again. Apparently there's some Muslim apologists that feel like we know them. I have no idea who they are, but apparently they feel like they're relevant. And in their little world, in their little brain, we're all running from them because we don't know them. Interesting. In their little imagination. You know when you was a kid, this is only for the guys, and y'all played with like toys like I had a bunch of wrestlers, and I'll create these little scenarios in this world where I'm one of the wrestlers and everything's like revolved around me, and it gets serious, It gets serious. Like you heighten up the drama with certain things going on. This one, yeah, the storylines, exactly. You play the whole storylines out in your room with the little wrestling ring, and you got the little accessories to go with it to heighten it up even more. And I mean, the drama, and then sometimes the story, well, not sometimes, almost every time, the storylines would continue on to the next day, Like I know my little brother, he had a Bret Hart. These are for the people that know wrestling. He had a Bret Hart toy and a Shawn Michaels toy, right? And if you guys remember, like back in the day, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart fought like they had like something called an Iron Man match. Like they fought for like 2 hours. My brother, my brother was doing an Iron Man match that lasted like a year. You know what I'm saying? Like they were fighting. I was like, bro, when is this match gonna end? Like he would literally put it to the side, go to sleep, the next day start the match again. Like keep going with the match. I'm like, bro, this thing is never gonna end, yo. He was like a little kid. He was like, I don't know, he was like 6 years old, maybe 5 years old. But I'm like, bro, this match has got to end at some point. You've been doing this for months, you know. But in his mind, it's like this is the Iron Man match, you know. Like the longer it goes, the more dramatic it goes. This is how some of these Muslim apologists are. They're in their mind, they are the best. They are the best apologists. Everyone is scared of them because people won't pull them up on the panel. Everyone, yes. These Christians shiver as soon as they see my name enter the chat. It's like, bro, I don't even know who you are, bro. The sharpshooter. Yeah, he did have a good finishing move. Facts. I know you did. I know you did. But I don't know. Just, a lot of the girls, they weren't into that stuff, I guess. Yeah, you can come and try to refute me. But yeah, anyways, yeah, some of these Muslim apologists, they're playing toys, man. This is what they do. They copy arguments, they recite them to themselves or their little friends. Or even some of these little Dawa daycare kids, right? They go to school. Most of the people they go to school with are Christians. So they go to little Bobby Clifford, and say, hey, man, how do you know Matthew wrote Matthew? Did you know that the earliest manuscript you have was only a couple centuries later? And then Bobby Clifford is just like fumbling, and he thinks he is the champion. He is the champion. I don't have a weak topic, bro. He thinks he's the champion, bro. You know? Bobby Clifford is just looking at him like, well, look, I'm just a Christian because, like, I just believe it, okay? Like, my parents brought me into this. And I just believe what my mom says. And they think that because they cook Bobby Clifford at school, at the lunch table, that they're cooking everybody. What's up? What'd you say?
I thought you got good parents.
Hold on. 1 second. Let me switch up. Say that again?
I said you got good parents.
Why you say that?
Didn't you say that your mom taught you about Christ and all that shit?
I mean, she does follow Christ, but she's not the one that taught me that, no.
Oh, okay. Well, so you don't have good parents?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a Christian though.
Why?
Well, I'm Mormon and Freemason.
Okay. Why?
Because, I mean, do you think that becoming Christian is going to save your soul, and that, like, where are you gonna go after you pass? Because if it's like a thing where you want to feel like comforted by claiming that you're all this stuff, like that, fully, that's good for you. But I'm saying, like, where are you gonna go after you pass?
To be with Christ.
Okay, but like, explain that.
What do you want? What do you want an explanation of? Like how I get there? You want to explain what that is?
I'm not a Christian, so like, how the hell would I even believe a Christian if you can't even explain what it's like after you pass with Christ?
Why would you? Even if I explained it, why would you believe it?
Bro, I don't know. That's a question you have to ask yourself. That question.
I don't need to. Brother, I don't need to ask myself anything. Like you need to tell me why you're not a Christian. I don't like it. Even if I waste my time. Even if I waste my time telling you what that means, like why would that even matter to you?
Bro, That's up to you to decide, man. I don't have the
It's
answers
not up
for you.
to it's not up to me to decide. I'm not your keeper. You don't. I don't
But that's the
decide
thing.
what you
You're trying
believe
to,
or don't believe.
you want me to answer a question, but that's the thing. Like the questions are answered within yourself. Like I'm
No,
just
no, it's
asking
not.
you.
This has nothing to do with me. You're asking me to convince you of something, right? I don't even know why you don't believe it.
Convincing of anything. I'm asking you, what is the point? What is after death, and what is being with
After
Christ?
death is
Like,
being in communion with God, like we were supposed to be from the beginning.
bro, what is communion with God? What the
Being
hell? What does that mean?
being in His presence for eternity.
In His presence. What does that mean?
That means just being with Him. That's what that means, being in His presence.
So I'm gonna be nothing, like, and I'm just with God. I'm just nothing. Just
Oh,
with God.
you'll be with God, but if you rejected Him, it's not going to be a pleasant experience.
So I'm gonna be with God, and then what's He gonna do? What
Nothing.
Are we doing?
I mean,
I'm sitting there with all the millions and billions of people who suffered and passed, and then we're all just chilling together with God.
Yep.
That doesn't make any sense, though.
Why?
Millions and billions of people, like, really?
Okay, why? Why doesn't it make sense?
It doesn't make sense to me.
I know. Why?
Because it just doesn't.
So notice how you're not giving me an answer. You're just saying I just don't accept that. Okay.
Because how can billions of nothingness be with some person that you don't even know where he is?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Okay, then explain to me how I'm.
You said okay. How about this? Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's go along the lines of what makes sense to you. You said you're a Mormon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you believe you're gonna have your own world later on in your life?
No, I joined the Mormonism because I thought it was a cult into the Illuminati.
What's the Illuminati?
I mean, it's pretty much out there, bro. If you want me to get pretty dark and devious on this live, I can.
So you joined Mormonism to join the Illuminati? How does that connect?
Because I thought it was a cult, because everything pointing, like everything displaying that I was seeing was cult-like. From the things that they say, to the things that they show, to the things, to the energy that was in the room, to the certain people that are around, to the last names connecting with certain things that are going on, real world time, types of people that are in. You know, like the person that got arrested for, like, basically just bringing a whole bunch of, women, you know what I'm saying, in a trailer and stuff like that. You know, the last name of that man who got charged and everything, or I don't know, it's probably dismissed. He is relative joined our, group chat and stuff like that. But no, I ain't never been to Salt Lake City, but yeah.
Dude, what are you talking? What are you talking about, bro?
A lot of Mormons convert to being Freemasons. You know, it's a big thing actually, because like the Freemasons and the Mormons are very alike within the records and stuff like that. Like just that part. It's just the way that.
King.
What's up, King?
I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. But that's probably my fault. That's probably my fault. No, it's okay. Hey, hold on, bro. Hold on. It's probably my fault. Let's get back on track, okay? Why are you not Christian?
I'm just not Christian because that just doesn't answer my questions.
What question? Give me the first question.
I mean, like, like what, like who really runs the world? You know, who's controlling all these things? The food that I eat when I go to the grocery store, and the television that I watch on TV. Why am I seeing all these demonic ads? Why am I getting
because the world is
that is doing nothing but taking me to a dark place, and people are supporting that in person and online.
Yeah, because the world fell. That's why.
The world fell.
Mm-hmm.
So the planet is the planet still in outer space?
It doesn't. I don't mean like a literal fall, bro. It's fallen from its purpose. It's fallen from its purpose.
But isn't this purpose what God wanted?
No.
But then can't God see everything? Like, so you're saying God had like a script in mind, but it didn't go as planned?
God's script in mind was for everything to be aligned with Him. However, in order for it to be actualized through love, there needed to be freedom, which means that the creatures that he created to be aligned with him and to choose him also had to choose also had the opportunity to choose to reject him, which is what happened. Once the creatures that he created, humans, rejected him, the rest of the world suffers along with their decision of being misaligned with God.
Okay, so tell me, what if a person never heard the word God? Like, what if I had kids and never told them about God, never told them about anything? Would they, and let's say I didn't know about God. Like, let's just put, like, not even me not telling them, but let's just say, like, I didn't know about it and my kids didn't know about it. So, I mean, what's the point then? Like, do you think that we would be, where do you think we would go if we don't know?
I have no idea. Given a circumstance like that, that is.
You're Christian. I thought you were supposed to have the answers. Like,
no, I don't know everything. Can I? Hey, King. Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor and just listen to my answer before you start talking? You can talk and respond and say whatever you want about my answer, but at least let me finish the answer. Thank you. So the answer is I don't know. Given that circumstance, I'm not the judge. I'm not God. I'm not the one that decides those things. However, those circumstances are extremely rare, given especially in our society. So you don't fit that. Neither do I, because we have been given the opportunity to not only know what could be true, but at least investigate it. And based on what we do is going to be based on how he judges us. Now, how he measures that for each individual, have no idea. May God have mercy on that person. Could they be saved still? Possibly. Could they not? Possibly not. It's really not my call.
Yeah, but there's kids in Africa right now, and kids all over the world who don't know who God is because their parents, their religion, the area they're in is so chaotic that they don't know. So what about them?
I just answered your question. We serve a great. I'll answer it differently. I'll answer it differently for you. I'll answer it differently for you. Please be quiet. Thank you. We serve a gracious and merciful God who loves and cares about us, and he will judge us in accordance to what we know. Now, how that will happen for the circumstance that you gave me, I have no idea, but I do know those things that I just said.
So am I supposed to judge everything that I do? Or am I supposed to say that everything that I do is because of God? Like
I have no idea. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Everything that could happens to me, I'm supposed to blame God for that or put God accountable for that?
You're saying I'm telling you should blame God for everything?
If what you said, with whatever you said, then so the things that I do, the things that I don't do, God, he's the judger, he does it, he makes the decisions, he does it all. Like,
no, bro. You have free will. You can make your own choices, bro.
I'm glad that you say that. That makes sense, because just like I was saying, like if a kid in another country didn't know, how is he supposed to be held accountable, and when is he supposed to be held accountable? If he hears the word God in a random conversation, but that's the last time he hears it, is he held responsible for not believing in God because he heard one random person say it over there?
That's up to God, not me.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're putting everything on God. You're saying that it's all up to God.
Yes, he's the judge, not me.
Okay, then how do we have free will if it's all up to God? He's the judge of everything.
What do you mean, how do you have free will?
That's like telling a kid not to take the candy. The kid takes the candy, and then I punish the kid. Are you fucking serious?
That's what is that? How does that? First of all, stop cursing. And how does that take away from the fact that the kid had the freedom to choose?
Bro, do you know what our minds are? Do you know how like some kids like have like diseases, all this type of stuff? Like, you're telling every single kid in the world that they're supposed to fully understand free will at a small age? I never said that either. I never said that either. I'm saying Christianity makes no sense. Everything you're saying just
brother. I'm actually giving you answers, and I don't think you. I think you've never heard this before, so you're trying to divert to different things, and you're trying to put words in my mouth that I'm not even saying. You're trying to put words in my mouth that I'm not even saying, and you're not even coherent right now. So do me a favor, hold on a second, because bro, you're starting to talk way too much and you're being incoherent. Let's dial it down. How did you get to the point where I said any of the things that you just said in the last like 30 seconds? How did you arrive to that? Maybe you can repeat my answers to tell me how the answer that you heard and how you arrived to that.
You basically just gave it up to God, bro. It's simple.
Gave what up to God? What
You
did I give
said
to him?
that. And if I say that a kid in Africa doesn't know about God,
Mm-hmm.
is he therefore what judge? Like bad things happen, all this stuff, and you're like, well, that's not up to me. That's up to God.
Did
Like,
you
bro,
did you think it was up to me? Did you think I was the judge?
Bro, if you want to help that kid, you can. You can go out to Africa, and just like that's what they do in the Mormon churches. We go out to places like Africa and we share our belief, and we help as much as we can.
Okay, bro.
That be
Okay,
built
bro.
in school
Yeah.
or
Do you
teaching them
think
about
do you
Christ.
think I have the ability to tell every single person in the
Christians
world?
don't do that.
Do you think I'm doing it. I mean, we do it in different ways every day, bro. What are you talking about? I don't have the ability to go talk to every person in the world. And by the way, you don't even know your Mormon beliefs to even talk about any of your beliefs. But nonetheless, bro, I am not. You asked me what happens to that kid who never knew. That had nothing to do with me talking to them or not. What does that have to do with? Oh, actually, let me rephrase the question. That kid who didn't hear anything, and you're asking me how they get judged. I said it's not up to me to judge, it's up to God. Why did you think it's up to me to decide what happens to that child? Why did you think that?
I don't think it's up to you, but I think that you can help.
Okay, good. I agree, I can help. Now, going back to it, you said you just agreed that I am not the person that is up to that's going to be the judge. When I gave you the answer, it's up to God. Why was that answer not good? You got upset over that. Why did you get upset over it if it was the right answer?
Because listen to this. Yes, we have free will. We can choose what we want to do, but it doesn't change the fact that we're being manipulated every single day through the school system.
See you later, bro. See you later, bro. Have a good day. What's up?
I'm also anti-Christian.
Okay. What faith are you?
That's one of the reasons I'm anti-Christian.
What's one of the reasons?
I'm sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm in the basement. I'm fixing something.
Yeah, I can
That's
hear
the
you.
reason I'm anti-Christian is because Christians can't discern
Can't discern what?
who people are.
Okay. So because of Christians that you've experienced haven't been able to discern, that means Christianity is false?
Most definitely it is.
How does that tie to being an objective truth?
Because Christians can't minister to anybody. They quote verses and they don't believe anything that they say.
Based on what standard are you saying they can't minister?
Like you couldn't minister to the guy that was on the stage. You became impatient with him.
I'm not. What if I told you my purpose of this live is not to minister? Then what would you say?
And I would say you're a hypocrite.
But how would I be a hypocrite?
Because you say you believe in God and you can't even exemplify God.
Yeah, I'm not God, so I agree with that. I'm not gonna be a perfect example. But you were critiquing me based on how I minister to him. But my goal is not even to minister to him. So, what do you say to that?
If you're going to tell people what salvation is, then you have to live it first before you share it.
No, not necessarily.
And that's what
No,
makes you a hypocrite.
and I don't know what you mean by living by it. You have no grounds to measure whether I am or not. But once again, you're not answering my question. You said I didn't minister to this guy, but my goal was not to minister to him. So, based on that, what do you have to say about that? If I never intended to minister to him, how did I fail?
You failed because you, a true son of God, a true minister, which you're not, you don't believe in God. You wanted to debate. You're fighting your giants and trying to pertain it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And what is your purpose? Is your purpose to debate?
No. I'm
Then
a
why
minister.
then why are you debating?
I'm not debating. I'm just
You are
proving that you're wrong in Christianity.
exactly, which means you're taking part in debate.
No, I'm exposing it. There's a difference between debating and exposing.
What did you expose exactly?
That you're a liar.
How did I lie? What did I lie about?
Because you let a person go with the same character that you have, and you're asking people why they're not Christians, and you're not even a Christian yourself.
Okay. And what are you? What's your faith?
I'm a son of God.
What faith is that?
You know that thing in Scripture it says that you read?
Hey,
It says,
hello,
those that are
hello, hey,
spiritual-
Mr. Minister. I asked you a question. What faith are you?
Kingdom faith.
Which is what?
You're too ignorant to know.
Oh, yeah, very good, very good. Is this part of your faith to insult people and to partake in debate? Is this what you guys do in kingdom faith?
No, we tell it like it is. We put you Christians in your place.
Got it. And how about I do this? Okay. How about you're going to be my puppy for the rest of the live? Look, don't speak. Look how you're going to listen when I say don't speak. Go ahead. Try to speak. See what happens. Exactly. Good puppy. Good puppy. Now go sit in the corner, puppy. Look how as soon as I gave the command, you listened. You went right to the corner, little puppy. Good boy. Good boy. We're going to give you a treat. But don't you dare try to speak, because you'll get muzzled, little puppy. Good boy. Good boy. Everybody say good boy to the puppy. Good puppy. Everybody say good puppy. Good puppy. Good. Because when you act out of line here, when you act out of line here, you get put in your place. All right? So go sit in the corner, good puppy. All right? And don't ever talk like that to your master again. Do you understand? Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. We got to do puppy training here, man. Got to do puppy training. What's up?
That was rough. Good puppy. Yeah.
What's up, man? What faith are you?
I used to be a Christian, and that's what brought me up here. Why am I not a Christian?
Okay.
It's kind of like I've read the Bible. And when I say read, I don't mean like once or twice in my lifetime. I mean like something that, you do every day. I can't tell you how many like times that I've been through each verse of the 66 books, and now I'm here.
What faith are you now, though?
I'm not a faith. I don't affiliate.
Do you believe in God?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe in God?
I believe that our whole understanding of God is not what it seems.
Okay.
The Old Testament God. Once you go back to the Old Testament God, and I mean,
all right. So Sean, how about we do this? How about I'm sure there's many reasons, but why don't you give me one of the many reasons as to why you're not Christian? Go ahead.
The morality of God.
What about it? What about it?
It's questionable.
Based on what standard?
Based on morality.
Okay. Where do you get the standard of morality from?
I don't know. That's a good question.
So then how can you critique it if you don't even know what your standard is?
Well, does a child know that it's immoral to unalive somebody? How about a dog? Even the dogs know morality. A dog knows when it's bad. Say you come home and it's tore up the whole house. It knows. How does a dog know?
No, it doesn't.
Where do I? What do you mean?
You have to train it and to understand those things. And even when you do train it, the only thing it understands is when I do this, I get hit. It doesn't understand what it actually did. So once again, bro, what standard of morality are you basing any of this on?
Well, this is there's no standard. It's not.
So then what grounds do you have to critique anything with the morality of the Bible if you don't have a standard?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the question where I get my standard. Why? You know, who tells you it's not okay to unalive somebody?
Okay, brother.
You know, what
Go think about what standard it is, man, and then you can come back, bro. So, man, I don't even know what to do with that. What's up?
Yo, I have an argument against your religion.
Are you Muslim?
Yes.
Okay, what's your argument?
Before I get to the argument, I've seen your page, right? You never used to do these type of formats on your page. Be honest, did you copy Orthodox Muslim?
No.
So how did you get this idea? Go ahead.
Dude, he's not the only one that does that, bro.
Yeah, he is. Come on. You know he had views, and so you had to copy him. Come on, man. Count me in.
Okay, brother. Do you have the argument?
Yeah, I have an argument.
Yeah,
so, according to the Trinity concept, you would believe that the Father begets the Son and is associated with paternity. So my argument lies with the property of being unbegotten. That's proper to the personhood of the Father, as in necessary for the personhood of the Father. You guys believe that it would be crucial for him to be unbegotten for his personhood. However, there's a plot twist in my argument now. Is this crucial for a subject to being divine, or is it not crucial? Whatever answer you give me would lead to Jesus not existing.
So are you gonna so are you copying an argument from someone else?
No. It's a similar argument, but there's a bit of a twist to it. My twist. I call it the school boom twist.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So for a subject to being divine, because you guys would have to conclude that in every possible world, the Trinity must exist and is necessary. According to that, in every possible world, can X be God without the property of being unbegotten, or with this property of being unbegotten? The stage is yours. Enlighten me.
What is the property of unbegotten? Explain that to me.
According to your paradigm, it's the property, it's a hypostatic property that allows the Father to beget the Son eternally.
How can something not being begotten? How can not being begotten be a property?
Not being begotten be a property, because it's the negation of being begotten.
So how are you defining a property?
Yeah, begotten or unbegotten?
Unbegotten.
Unbegotten, to bring forth another subject into existence due to you being the origin. And in the sense of the Trinity, it would be the Father.
Wait, repeat that again? Repeat unbegotten again?
Unbegotten would be a property to allow the subject of the Father, in this case, to bring forth the Son into existence, to eternally beget him.
That's not what unbegotten means.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Go ahead. What does it mean to you?
It just means he's uncaused.
Which I literally said as well. I said uncaused, him to be in the source, him to bring forth the Son into existence. Come on, I'm after the semantical game.
No, I'm just the semantical game is being played by you, because you're just mixing up words together. So I don't understand your question. If you're talking about a negative being a property.
Okay. You said I can grant you, or whenever I'm saying unbegotten, it can be synonymous with uncaused. But you would have to agree that the subject of Christ isn't uncaused. He's caused from the Father. I'm not saying that negates him from being divine. I'm saying you guys believe he's caused from the Father and his origin is the Father, correct?
In his hypostasis.
In his hypostasis. Wait, what about his essence?
The essence is uncaused. He possesses the same essence as the Father.
Okay, so wait. So when you guys say he's distinguished, and one of the roles, hypostatic properties, is the Father being unbegotten, and you're saying this can be synonymous with being uncaused. You understand that we don't believe the persons and the essence are identical, right? They're distinct. Okay. No, you believe that the persons are distinct to each other and they possess a
And
divine
the
essence,
persons
which is
and
equal
the
to each other.
persons are distinct from the essence as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm not. That's not my argument. My
no,
argument is,
I
'cause you guys-
understand. I understand that that's not, you're not arguing that, but you need to understand that there is a distinction between the essence and the persons, because your argument is conflating the two as if they're
No,
identical.
I can grant you that's the position that the persons isn't identical to the essence.
Okay, good.
Whereas other Christians do believe it's identical. I couldn't care less about that. My argument is, but before I get to the argument, I'm still trying to get your position. When you say that the property of being unbegotten can be in a sense,
I don't know what you mean by how a property can be unbegotten, but for the sake of the argument, we'll just go ahead and present it.
No. Let's just say the property of paternity.
Okay, so for the property as far as the father begetting the son, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what about it?
Okay, is it only proper to the father, correct or incorrect?
That's correct.
Okay, all I'm asking you is, in a possible world, can X be good without this property, or is this property included? That's it. That's all I want to ask.
The property is only pertaining to the hypostasis. What makes them divine is the essence.
Okay, so you've actually excluded this property because you're saying this property of hypostasis for personhood, for example, the father to being the father. So a subject in a possible world can be God without this property. All it requires is the possession of the divine substance, correct?
So when we're talking about the paternity of the Father and the Son and then the procession of the Holy Spirit, we're talking outside of creation. So you cannot conflate the paternity as to what a creature would be defined as paternity into how the Father begets the Son as a creature that it has paternity within creation. You cannot compare it to paternity in eternal. Like, it's not the same thing.
I'm not comparing that. I'm not comparing the act.
Okay, so if you're not comparing it, so then here's what it is. What makes them divine is that they possess the same identical essence, which is what makes them divine.
I know.
And they share the same identical nature. And they share the same identical nature. However, given the hypostasis, right, and how the hypostasis functions, right, the hypostasis is what makes them distinct persons, is because the Father causes the Son, begets the Son, and the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father. This has nothing to do with the essence.
Okay, I've got you. So let me try still, man, what you just said. You're saying that for a person to be subject, it would only require a possession of the divine essence, and these hypostatic properties are only existed, or they're only a thing due to your God existed in distinct persons. So for them to be distinct subsistences, they would require these properties to be existent, to exist, and to distinguish the persons. I got you. So now all I have to do is give the argument now, or my conclusion. You've just stated you agree to the premise that a subject can be divine without these properties because these are unique hypostatic properties proper to a subject, or it only requires the possession of the divine substance. So in a possible world, a subject can be divine without this property, which would not allow this divine subject, who's divine and God, to pertain and to beget the Son, which would mean in a possible world, a person can be God without Jesus' existence, because he relies on paternity to exist, to be eternally begotten. What is your rebuttal? Go ahead.
I have no idea what you just said. I have no idea what you just said.
Thanks for the rebuttal.
No clue.
Christianity, guys.
Score booming. You know what the dilemma is? You're saying a whole bunch of nothing. It's just a bunch of jibber jabber trying to act, and then my rebuttal. You can try to rephrase this into something that's clear, but all you did was just give a bunch of jibber jabber. Nobody understood what the hell you just said, and then because nobody understands this, hold on a second. Hold on, I'm not done talking. Because nobody understood what you said, and because it's like we're sitting here like, what the hell is this guy? What the hell is this guy even talking about? You think you did something. That's the hilarious part. Bro. If you want to feel like you did something because of that, that's fine. But go ahead. You can go ahead and rephrase it. Hold on, Dom. I got this. I want to make an example of this guy. Go ahead.
Oh, what's going on? People want to request up and help. He's okay. Bring them. I've dealt with Gap Logic. I've dealt with your top dogs. So you can bring them. I don't mind.
Oh, wow.
Let me try to rephrase it for you because
you're
you're so in the head, maybe. And firstly, don't ever appeal to the mob just because they don't understand. Firstly, that's a lie.
Hey, bro, are you gonna rephrase the question or not?
That would be a fantasy. Yeah, I will. Now, let me
Okay,
speak.
go ahead. Rephrase it
So,
then.
you stated that the property of being unbegotten or to be associated with a paternity to allow a subject to beget another subject isn't essential or needed or crucial or important for a subject in a possible world to being divine equality or paradigm. So that would mean that they would only need to require the divine essence. So in a possible world, the subject of a god, okay, can be divine and God by just possessing a divine essence and not the property of being associated with paternity, which would mean they would not be able to beget another subject. And without begetting another subject, you know what that means? Jesus does not exist because he requires this eternally begottenness or whatever you guys call it to exist.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. Let me tell you why. Because I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to the divine essence and the nature, the persons are just the underlying reality of the nature, and how the nature exists. Part of that nature, the way God functions in his nature is through his energies, and one of his energies is love. It is impossible for God to be grounded in his nature without being in communion within persons. So any given possible world, it is impossible for God to have a nature that emanates energy of love and be unipersonal. That's what's wrong with your God. He cannot ground any of those ethics. So it is not possible for God to be unipersonal and not have multiple persons within himself, because it is the underlying reality of that nature.
Yeah, this is what you call special pleading. Okay,
no, it's not special pleading.
Let me
So
finish.
then, okay, no, hold on. If it's not special,
reason.
it's not special pleading, and here's why. And this is
You
how.
he
And
doesn't allow
here's
me to respond.
no, that's fine. Huh? You'll respond. You'll respond in a second. Here's why it's not special pleading. Before you go on a tangent on special pleading, it's not special pleading because love is a relational thing. You need to have relationship in order to ground it, and in order for God to remain independent, that means he would need to be multi-personal within himself. Now, you would need to respond back to me if you want. If you have a rebuttal, you need to then prove to me how a unipersonal God can ground love eternally by being unipersonal. Go ahead.
Okay, your rebuttal is, well, according to the Trinity, God cannot exist as one person. My guy, that's special pleading. You agree to the premise.
No, it's not.
That a subject can. Again, you're interrupting.
No, yeah, I'm not going to let you go. That you're No. The reason why I'm going to interrupt is because you're misrepresenting what I said.
He's being unfair.
Yeah. You got refuted. Here's the thing. You're not even listening to what I'm saying. That's not special pleading because. Yeah, exactly. Hey, how about this? Go sit down so that you can hear it and you can come back up if you want. It's not special pleading. You're doing an internal critique on the Trinity. Given by God's nature and the energies and how he exists, he has an eternal, uncreated energy of love. It is impossible for his persons who are the underlying reality of that nature to actually ground the reality of his love with being unipersonal. It is not possible. Now, you're doing an internal critique. This is our view of the Trinity, and that's why it is necessary for him to be multi-personal. Now, you can say special pleading all you want and try to giggle, but you can come back up and you can refute me how a unipersonal God can ground the reality of a relational love. Go ahead. You can come back up if you choose. If not, you can just kick rocks. And he's not coming up. Yes, my love. Go ahead. Sorry.
He comes up talking about like, oh, I've noticed you've changed your content. First of all, thanks for watching. Second of all, the fact that you noticed says you're like a fan, and then you're gonna come up and copy the same person's argument that you're saying we're copying is insane. And then ramble. He rambled on to just say nothing, have no substantiation for what he rambled on about, and then starts giggling like you got cooked or something. Exactly. Like it's just insane the way they argue.
It's hilarious. But yeah. Once again, guys, and for those of you, I don't know if you guys put a 1 if you understood my argument in the comments so that you guys understand what's being said here. His argument is, I'm gonna break it down, and if you understand already, press 1. After I break it down, if you understand, after I break it down, press 1. Okay. But what his argument was saying is that there's a possible world, because when it comes to the Son, doesn't have to have all he has to do is have the divine essence. Then it's not necessary for the God to be multi-personal, because the only thing that's necessary for him to be divine is have the essence. So what he's saying is, oh, you could be unipersonal and have the essence. So there's other possible worlds that Jesus doesn't have to exist, because only the Father is the one that is uncaused, right? That's his argument. But see, remember what the definition of a person is. It's the underlying reality of the nature, the underlying reality of the rational nature of God. What is in the nature of God? How do we know his nature? It's through his energies. And one of the energies, and many of the energies, is love and great. Like, all these things are relational energies. So it is necessary for our God to be multi-personal in order to actually ground love. Otherwise, if he, in his nature, he possesses the energy of love and he is unipersonal, that means that our God is dependent on creation to actualize something within himself, which means he cannot be eternal. It's something that he is now potent, and he changes. He goes from just having a dormant ability to love to now being active within his nature. That's not an eternal God. But because our God is multi-personal, and he can enact this love eternally, and these persons are eternal, therefore it is grounded. Therefore, them being multi-personal is necessary. So hopefully you guys understand that. That's the trick that he's trying to play a little trick here. But I understand where he's coming from, because according to the Muslims, they feel like a unipersonal God can ground the concept of love for eternity, which is not possible. But anyways, put a 1 in the chat if you guys understand that. If not, it's all good. I'll try to explain it another time. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up? What faith are you?
Well, I'm a realist. I don't ascribe to any religion.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Okay. So why are you not Christian?
Well, for 30 years I examined that Christian God, and I found it to be wanting. There was nowhere to be found. I went also examined the Hindu gods. A bunch of nonsense. What
did you examine exactly?
Yeah, well, first of all, you got to look at. I went and looked at For instance, when it came to the Christianity and the Bible, I looked at the Judaism, because the old informs the new, and I saw that just like everybody across the world, they also had their own Canaanite gods, Baal, Asherah, El, and a whole bunch of them. So they just decided to amplify one and made it formalize it. And that can be done by any cult group. So they did that.
Bro, I have no idea. You lost me, bro. Like, can we simplify?
You'll be lost.
Bro, you're like, I'm not tracking with you. Like, what can you simplify real precise why you're not Christian?
Yeah, I just said that I did a whole due diligence, and I found Christianity to be far from the truth.
Yeah, dude, you're just repeating that you don't believe in Christianity. I just want to know why you don't believe it.
I just told you.
Okay, so you're not going to explain to me why, what happened? What did you read? What'd you do? What happened? Are you going to get to that or no?
Okay, now let's do the moral check first of all. Is Christianity based on the Bible, the principles of the Bible generally?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is it? Okay, good. All right. Is those principles universal?
What do you mean by universal?
Oh, love your neighbor as yourself.
That would be universal.
That's
Yes.
a universal statement, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Bible activities and principles are universal, right?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know what everything you're naming, but as far as what you just named, yes, that's universal.
Okay, so now let's start with the God first. Okay, analytical, evidential check of that God first. Did that God, unalive people across the board?
Yes. He's the author of life, so he can give it and take it away. Yes.
Okay, all right. Did his cronies in the Bible, the prophets, did they also unalive people, thousands of people?
Did the prophets unalive people?
Yeah.
I don't recall any prophets. I mean, I guess if you want to say King David when he's in war, I mean, he unalived people, but yeah, I don't recall any other prophets unaliving people.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you some of the examples. Okay. First of all, Moses unalived thousands of people. When he came,
you're talking about in war? You're talking about in war?
Sinai. Let me finish.
You're talking about in war?
Can I finish, please? Can I?
I mean, bro. I mean, dude. Yeah, but the thing is, bro, you're going kind of slow, and if I'm asking you a clarifying question and what you're saying, I can. So
I just told you Moses. Can I?
Yes. Are you talking about when he was in war?
No, I'm not talking.
Then what are you talking about as far as Moses unaliving people?
I'm talking about Moses unaliving both. Anybody that disagrees with him had different opinion.
Like who?
Had different practices. When he
came
down from Mount Sinai, hey, listen, when he came down from Mount Sinai, first thing he did was he saw people that, disagreed with his ideology. And, he said they had made themselves another god. So what did he do? He analyzed 3,000 people.
That's not what happened.
Oh, really?
Actually, he offered himself up to God because God was going to wipe them out. And he said, take me instead. So he actually offered himself up first. But yeah, that was divine judgment on God for what happened there.
Divine judgment?
Yes. Remember, God's the author of life. He can give life and take it away. So,
is that God also subject to the law?
He is the grounding of all goodness. So he's not subject to anything.
Do you know what is leadership by example?
Leadership by example. Brother, you understand that we believe that he encompasses all good. Everything that is good is aligned with God himself.
What is so good about that God unaliving people?
What standard are you using?
Oh, universal standard. If that God wants everybody to practice love your neighbor as yourself, universal standards of morality.
Okay, good. Let me show you how that fits universally. How it fits universally is that the Messiah, who is the one that would redeem all of humanity and actually heal humanity and give every human that chooses him the ability to suspend eternity with him, which is something that is good, by protecting Israel from people who are worshiping other gods and so forth, to stop from the Messiah to being produced by Israel, is a good thing, even if it means people are getting unalived. So it's for the greater good. So yes, it was good.
So you're saying that for the fact that you have an ideology, you have a practice.
Yes, the story you're taking from is from our ideology. Yes. Wow, what a surprise that the story that you took from actually has context with the ideology as a whole. Ooh, what a surprise! You got me there.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying that what makes you different from any cult group?
Oh, so now you gave up on that argument, huh? So now you don't have a response. You don't have a response. Do you concede that now fits the greater good of the ideology of the book?
No.
Okay, so then why don't you give me a rebuttal then? How does what I say How did what I responded to you on, as far as the greater good of the book, which is saving humanity, how does my explanation not fit that universal standard?
How are you saving humanity by analyzing them?
Because it helps protect Israel, who will produce the Messiah who will save the world.
Does the world belong to the Messiah?
Yes.
Or Israel?
Actually, it does. Actually, it does. Yes. Psalm 82, verse 6, and Psalm chapter 2, verse 7 and 8. Yes. The Messiah actually inherits all of the earth.
Okay,
exactly right.
So you're saying that God is so insecure, a God who claims to be
Origin, bro. Origin, you're grasping for straws, bro. Do you want to respond to what I said?
I'm saying that I'm responding.
No, you're not. You're just giving your critique right now on what I said. Can you give me a rebuttal? Can you show me how I'm wrong there?
Wrong about what?
Oh, you don't know my response?
No.
How about you repeat my response, my objection? Go ahead. Let's hear it.
No. What I'm saying is,
hey, no. Actually, we're not going to move on until you. And I'm not saying word for word. You don't have to respond word for word. But why don't you just give me what my objection is, so I know you're actually listening?
I'm saying we're not in a kindergarten school that I have to.
Origin, you're in my live, and in order to continue this conversation, I want to know you're listening to my objections. So can you? Yeah. So then prove it to me. I don't believe you. So prove it to me.
Yeah.
What was my objection?
If you have an immoral,
what was my objection? Last chance, Origin. Last chance. Exactly. Yeah. See you later, clown. You're not even listening anymore. He's not even listening. What's up?
Speed.
I know. He was like slow mo. He was in slow motion.
I felt like I was at the DMV. I wanted to.
What's that kids movie with the little sloth that's at the DMV?
Yeah, I wanted to literally off.
I know. What up, son?
Why did y'all kick that guy?
Because I wanted to.
Oh my god. Can you answer
the prompt is, why are you not Christian?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't really think Christian is being a Christian is very logical.
Why?
Do you believe God is all good person, who never does anything bad?
He encompasses all good, yeah.
So he's never sinned before?
It's not possible. It's like that would be a contradiction.
It's not possible for God to sin.
No, it's not, because sin would be moving away from God. He can't move away from himself.
Can you give me an example of what you mean?
What I mean about what?
Like you're saying sin would be moving away from God.
Yeah, so we were so sin, the word excuse me, sorry, I had to clear my throat. The word sin comes from the Hebrew word kata, which is like a term used for like archery. It just means missing the mark. So when it comes to missing the mark, sin just means you're missing the mark as far as what your purpose is as a human. We were created to be aligned with God's will. When we move away out of our own free will and we decide to make choices that is away from God's will, that would be sin.
You don't think we have our own free will?
Bro, I just said out of our own free will, when we choose to move away from God's will, that's sin.
Yeah, but that's not that we wouldn't have free will if God was all knowing.
What?
If God knows 100% everything you're going to do, we wouldn't have free will.
Why?
Because that would mean our actions are 100% guaranteed. What do you mean?
All knowingness doesn't mean causality.
Clarify.
So if, for example, I can know that something is going to happen tomorrow, right? Somebody tells me something's going to happen. That doesn't mean I caused it.
But you say God can literally see thoughts and literally know everything. So
okay.
That would mean we have no free will.
No, it doesn't, because I just showed you. Like, for example, if I know, if I have the foreknowledge of knowing it's going to rain tomorrow, that I cause it to rain.
But that's not
brother. Can
That's
you
entirely
just
different?
No, it's not, because you're equating knowing something means it is the cause of it, right? I'm showing you that knowing something doesn't mean it's the
You know
cause.
why it rained, and
I'm not. Who cares why? Who cares why? Hey, hold on. Yeah. What if I know exactly the time it's going to rain, the time it's going to stop, where it's going to rain? If I know all of that information because a weatherman told me, does that mean I now caused it?
But would you know that exact information?
Yes, I would know it. Does it mean yes? All of the exact information. Does that mean I caused it?
If you knew all of the exact information,
yes. Does it mean I caused it? Yes, for the third time, dude.
It would mean you had some type of influence.
How? How would me knowing it's gonna rain tomorrow means I influenced it to rain?
From a human's perspective, that's what you're trying to apply to this, but I'm applying God's perspective to this.
All right, bro. I'm sorry, dude. You're too dumb. You're too dumb to have this conversation, bro. No offense. This is just.
If there's nobody here, like, I do want to ask him a question.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, he's here. You can ask him if you want.
Just real quick, if you can't answer, we're just gonna
dropping everybody.
I'm just gonna kick you down. Hey, real quick. So if I know exactly my mother's schedule, because that's my mother, and we live together, and I know exactly what job, where she's going, what time she's getting in the car, what coffee she's going to pick up on the way, at what time, and I know what time is her lunch and what she's going to have for lunch, and exactly what time she's going to get home, what she's going to cook for dinner, what she's going to watch on TV, and what time she's going to go to bed. Did I make her do any of those things? I have one question before I ask that.
No, answer the question, bro. Answer the question, please.
Did I make her do any of those things?
I can't answer anything besides what you're asking. That's kind of like you're trying to funnel me.
That's the only reason why you're even up here, bro.
You're trying to funnel me to saying.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's no point of like the dude is just he's legit slow.
If you're that slow, bro, like there's no point. There's really no point.
No, he know it's not that. And you know what? It's not even that he's that slow. He knows the answer. He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to admit it. It's just pride at that point.
His answer would have been like, well, if you're God, then yeah, you kind of caused it. Like, what?
Yeah. I'll take. Hey, by the way, I know he has risen. You're a Christian. If you have a question that I can help you with, I'll rise you up. But otherwise, bro, I keep the panel kind of. I don't really stack up the panel like that with Christians. So, or maybe you requested by accident. I don't know. Sometimes people, I know I do that sometimes. Do you have a question or something? He has risen. All right, let me just let him up. Oh, bro, get out of here! I wasn't trying to get you up.
I was about to say.
No, I was not trying to get. I was trying to get. He has risen up.
Yeah, why you funnel people? Why you trying to funnel people?
That's your question, bro. Yeah, because
can circle be square? That's another thing I want to know.
Because
that's all. Have a good day.
All right, man. Thank you. Yeah, we definitely try to funnel. We try to funnel. We try to funnel people who are not too smart. We don't want them here. It kind of becomes torturous, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like to listen to somebody talk like that or whatever, like, bro. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, man. Why you funnel me, man? Hey, tap the screen, y'all. We gotta get another oppie in here. Hey, remember, guys, TikTok goes through like little cycles of ops, you know? We got some new bad guys introduced, right? New bad guys introduced to the plot. People who, Muslim apologists who feel like that they themselves are the Orthodox Muslim.
No, yeah, anytime Lesbiano drops a new like video where he's just like, I cooked them, everybody's laughing and all that stuff. Anytime there's just a new wave of them that's like,
Yeah, I know that repeats the argument.
Ready to come with the same argument. They're like, oh,
They
watch it a million times, right? They watch the playback a million times the night before because we're the best morning live on TikTok, you know. They come fresh and ready. What is it? Hot and ready, like Little Caesars, you know? They just come hot and ready with these these arguments.
Yeah. It's like what's the term? Liquid courage, when somebody takes a couple drinks and everything. That's how it feels. It's like, yo, I'm ready to cook Christians now, man.
They watch the same argument on repeat all night. So like first thing in the morning, they hot and ready, you know. they got the courage, but you know, this is the wrong life to come across first thing in the morning. I'll tell you that. You might want to get some swims in so you don't look crazy, because they don't even do it the same. Remember, they add their own little ramble to it, and then it's even worse.
They try to compile like a bunch of little jargon words to make it sound like they're arguing, but it's a whole bunch of nothing. But notice notice guys, remember that the Score Boom guy who says he created his own argument here, right? And I believe this is the same argument Libiano was trying to run on Nick the other night. I think he was trying to get there, but he couldn't get there with him. But notice, as soon as I gave the proper response to it, he didn't request back up. He didn't want to come back up. He was like, yeah, I'm not going to go back up. I'm just going to act like I cooked them and then leave.
Well, the thing is that when all you hear is dumb Dawah boys, right? Like on YouTube all day. If that's all you hear and you're a Muslim, then you really think they're right. They're like, oh yeah, that's so illogical. Oh yeah. And they think they come in because they don't actually have the right understanding of the Trinity. And that's where they're like, oh wait, it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the arguments work, especially when you're arguing with somebody a Christian that doesn't know how to answer those questions, because those are actually hard questions about the Trinity. You got to study up on it. But when a average Christian doesn't know the answers to these questions, all of a sudden it's like, oh, they try to like jump for joy, like, yeah, we got them, guys. But
when they're conflating the whole time the argument.
Right. But when you come on this live now, it's a Christian live where you can't talk over me, you can't mute. I'm going to actually get my response out. Then now there's no response. You can't say anything anymore. So he was getting flustered because he kept saying it was what he kept saying. Oh, special pleading. So an internal critique on my belief is a special pleading. The special pleading is on him to reject anything of our internal beliefs. Like that would be the special pleading.
Right. The arguments sound real good over there until you get to a Christian life that actually has the answer. And you'll see how your argument actually sounds. That's a funny thing.
Anyways, where the ops at? We was like at 150 just a second ago, and then no more ops. People want to see me go against the ops. Or the ops. Guys, don't forget that I'm also on YouTube. Don't forget to join the Juto and go and hit the subscribe button. Go show some love, comment, subscribe, whatever. Whatever the case is. Yeah, you can invite them, Ray, if you want. I think you got the ability to invite, don't you? Or no? I'm not tripping. Don't forget to hit piece of follow too. She'd be going live as well. So if there's a plus sign next to her name, that means you don't follow her. And if you want to support me, go ahead and support by following her. Patreon, guys, like I haven't gotten any feedback from my Patreon members on this week's Patreon. Like I really thought like this week's Patreon is like fire. Like I'm sitting here like gobbling it up. Even last night I was rereading it. So yeah, anyways, if anybody that's on the Patreon, if you're hearing me, you don't have to say anything right now, but go on the Patreon and put a comment over there or something, like, let me know. So what's my view on monarchical Trinitarianism? I believe that is the only view of the Trinity, is a monarchical Trinitarian view. It's the only one. And by the way, don't let the Orthodox Muslim fool you. Catholics and Orthodox believe in a monarchical Trinitarianism. They believe in it. So what's up? What's up, man? Yeah, some Protestants do as well. I was just reluctant on saying that because Protestants don't really go too deep on that. Well, most of them don't. I know some do. Reddit, did you request up here, or was this an accident, or going once, going twice? All right, bro. Have a good day. Anyways,
He's probably gonna get into a bunch of science jargon anyway.
I'm echoing on you. Babe.
Alright. Abana.
Nemesis, thank you, brother. God bless you too, brother. Longtime supporter of Bear the Image, bro. I appreciate you so much, bro. You do an amazing job modding for me, so thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, gang. Appreciate it. Shout out to Dylan. Thank you, Dylan, for the roses.
Thanks, Dylan. Guys, the fact that Bear said follow me and y'all not following me is hella disrespectful. Y'all missing out, though. I'm just saying. Y'all missing out.
Yeah, definitely hit her follow. You know, her lives are very, very informative. Obviously, she takes a different approach, but it's a different angle. And, you know, Professor Gabe be up there. I'll be up there. You know, we'll be up there cooking. People don't even know how much we cook on that live. People don't be knowing. Hey, Peter, why don't you request up, bro? Why don't you request up, gang? Hey, articulate apologist, brother. You should have you looked into the Orthodox Church at all? Thank you, brother. Thank you for the goats. Appreciate you, gang. Oh, you're a Calvinist. Oof, that's tough. That's tough. That's very, very opposite beliefs of Orthodoxy.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough. But I still love you, brother.
Yeah,
I still love you. I appreciate you showing me love and stuff like that, man. Appreciate it.
He knows it's tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, but, you know,
yeah, it's tough.
These Calvinists, you know, they run deep.
It's tough, man. It's tough. I get it. I don't get it in the sense that I was ever Calvinist, so I can't speak on that behalf. But I do know from personal experience because my dad adopted Calvinism without him realizing it. And I can never for the life of me see it. I don't know. It's even when I was young. Thank you, Sajida.
Oh, thank you, Saji. That's my sister.
That's our sister. Dang, do I gotta end this live a little early or what? What's the vibes? What's the vibes? Sajida.
Saji, I bet you she finished her homework in 30 minutes. She's probably so excited. She's like, I'm doing it right now.
Oh, that's right. I gotta actually get a really well. Actually, the homework is just gonna stay the same, Matthew 1 and 2 for this week because. By the way, Sajida, no, we're not gonna watch a video yet. I went through.
We're just gonna read.
Well, we're not. Yeah, just gonna read Matthew 1 and 2 for this week's homework, and I'll come up with something different. But nothing else because we're actually, believe it or not, this next week's study we're not even gonna be starting to read yet. We're just gonna break down what the word gospel means, and I'm telling you guys, you think you know what gospel means. You don't know what gospel means. Okay, this is going to give you a whole different perspective of what gospel mean, what it would mean for a first century person, and like you've never seen it before. So that's going to be this week's class. So we're going to go slow. We're gonna break down every every detail. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, other people that sent gifts that I missed. I'm sorry. W Swan. But yeah, we're gonna break down this Gospel of Matthew to every little piece that you guys. It's not just gonna be we're gonna read and just be like, oh man, thank you, Sajida. Thank you so much. We're not just gonna go ahead and read the Gospel of Matthew. Oh my gosh, we are being flooded right
my
now.
sisters are going.
They're going. They are balling, yo. Like,
my sisters got money.
You got that shmoney. They got the shmoney for real.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
They got that baddie money. You feel me, gang? That's crazy.
Left of this, I know the Bible study's late for you, but no worries, we got you.
Yo, ladies,
this
bring
week,
that money gun to the bachelorette party. You feel me?
You crazy. Left of this. I know the Bible study's late for you, no, because you're in the other part of the world, but I got you. I got to figure it out this weekend, but I'm actually going to record the Bible study, and I'm going to post it on YouTube and make a whole playlist of it. Okay, so no worries. Just when you wake up the next morning or whatever it is, you can just watch it on YouTube. All right, so no worries, because I know I think you're like in the other part of the world, bro. So I got you.
That's for those people. If you don't have an excuse, you just better be there. Like, I don't want to hear, well, I'll just catch the replay. Like, no, you can't ask your questions on the replay. You can't get to know each other on the replay. You can't one-on-one with us on the replay. So if you can make it, definitely make it, guys. It's a free class, 1 hour, once a week, and it's a lot of fun. So
yeah. No, I don't think I need to restart. I think, guys, I mean, look, here's the thing, yo. Has anybody played like Call of Duty Zombies? Everybody ever played that before?
Yeah.
So like in Call of Duty Zombies, right? It's you and your crew, right? You gather weapons, and when the round starts, the zombies start, right? And the first round you get like 100, then it moves up in the number of zombies. Every round gets difficult. But remember, when a round ends, you got a little time to kind of like reload, get your health up, go do this. We just in a reload right now, man. Like the next wave is coming. The next wave of ops is coming. We just gotta make sure the weapons are good, the pew-pews are good, ammo is up, health is up. We ready for the next wave. You feel me? That's it.
And then I'm gonna bring this to Nami once he's done.
I'm down. Hey, one time I gotta get me a new Xbox. My Xbox is kind of chalked. Once I get a new Xbox, anybody who plays Call of Duty in here, I'm down. We can do zombies, we can do Warzone, whatever. We do all that. But for right now, I gotta focus on other things before we do that. Gotta focus on other things before we do that. Yo, Adrian, I tried playing Apex, bro. Apex is just not. It's just not it, bro. It's just, I don't know, bro. It just wasn't for me, brother. It really wasn't for me. Oh my gosh, why this guy is back, huh? Let's see. Do you think he's gonna have an answer for me now?
Without it.
Yo, how come you kicked me?
Because you kept talking over me. You want to respond to my objection now?
Is it because you interrupted me? You kept muting me?
Because you're misrepresenting my position.
Wait, so you have the prerogative to say I'm strawmanning you after I finish. Not to rudely interrupt me, boy.
What?
Is this the manners of a Christian?
Hey, Score Booming, let me ask you something. Were you always a mouth breather?
Guys, what?
Were you always a mouth breather?
Wait, the last person, wait. You look obese in your media. What are you talking about?
Oh, right. But I'm just asking you though. Like, were you always like a little mouth breather?
What are you talking about?
Exactly. So, are you gonna object to it or no? Are you gonna object? Are you gonna object? Are you gonna object? Yeah. Get the response. Stop yapping and let's go.
Give me my response, Mr. Obese.
Yeah. Hey. Listen, mouth breather. Give the objection. Give the objection.
If you add mom or insult one more time, I'll drop you next time.
Guys, when they do it, it's fine. But when I do it, see? Now let me get.
I'll drop you if you insult again. So just give your rebuttal.
Okay, anyways, back to the topic. I was saying that this property wouldn't be essential due to the premise you agreed to that the hypostatic properties are only unique to this personhood. These are individual properties for a subject. That's it. It wouldn't be properties, a set of properties that's intrinsic or essential for the essence, like you stated. Hello? So in a possible world, you literally conceded that a subject can be divine without this property, this hypostatic property, this relative predicate, this notion that the Thomists say, which would mean that Jesus in a possible world does not need to exist for a subject to be in divine, because this property would allow a subject to beget the Son.
So Score Bowman, hey,
so
Score,
again,
listen. So Score, all you're doing is just repeating your argument.
That's over.
Hey, watch your mouth. So now you understand that all you just did was just repeat your argument. What was my objection? Let's see if you were listening.
Yeah, your objection.
And I'll give you the objection again if you need to.
Okay, you said that I'm incorrect due to the fact that Jesus does not need to be eternally begotten to exist.
No, that's not.
What was the justification?
That's not what I said.
He does need to be.
So I'm gonna give you the objection again, and this time you're gonna listen.
He's gonna say the same thing as me, guys. Watch it.
Okay, all right. So ready? So you're gonna listen again and then respond to the objection. If you can't respond to the objection, that's okay. You just need to go study and then come back. You ready? Okay. So the hypostasis is the underlying reality of the rational nature. Now, of the nature of God. The nature of God, the way we know his nature is through his energies. We know that he has the love, the eternal energy of love, uncreated energy of love. In order for God to ground the reality of his nature, which love would be one of those things, it is necessary for him to be multi-personal, not unipersonal. Therefore, in all possible worlds, it's necessary for the Trinity to exist, according to that.
And what is the justification for that? You said for a person to establish his essence, he would need to have groundings. Those groundings does not include the hypostatic properties, which you literally agreed to earlier. So then that's begging the question, my guy.
No, it's not. Because the reason why those things need to be grounded is because if his energies are eternal and uncreated, can you please, we're gonna mute you now, okay? So when it comes to his uncreated energies, which is a reflection of his nature, and his nature is eternal, that means that God, unless you want to describe a potent and dependent God, would need to be able to independently ground these realities. And the only way for him to ground the reality of love eternally without being dependent on creation would be if he's multi-personal. So it is necessary.
You done?
Can you repeat what I just said so I understand?
You're saying that the nature of him has to have these specific grounds for him to exist. So he cannot be uni. For example, he cannot be all-loving without other persons that he can show his love. Firstly, that's against special pleading. Listen to me quite clearly.
No, it's not.
God's divine against God.
Define special pleading. Define special pleading.
Listen. Just relax. I can do
define special pleading.
Can you define special pleading for all of us?
Yes, after I'm finished.
No, define it right now, because this is the fourth time. This is the fourth time that you're bringing it up.
No, don't run. Yeah, because you are special pleading, and I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, so tell me define special pleading.
Yes, after I'm finished.
No, do it right now.
Yeah, you don't dictate nothing around here, okay? You said that the divine essence does not.
Look, hey puppy, look how. Hey. Define special pleading, bro.
This is a dilemma,
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Score Boom, and see you later, brother. Go sit in the corner like a good little puppy. All right?
That's crazy. You can't just define a word.
I mean, it's the fourth time he said special pleading. And it's like, dude, now you got to start defining this, because special pleading is just making a claim without having to substantiate it, basically. Basically saying that this is the reason why I'm not doing it and not having to substantiate it. At the end of the day, I don't need to substantiate what our internal belief is. If you're doing an internal critique, you should know this. And in every Christian worldview, we're gonna believe that God's love is eternal and it's grounded within his nature. There's no special pleading there. That is our belief. Actually, that is a Muslim belief too. The problem is that your God can't actually ground that reality. Can't. It's not possible for him, which is why him being Tawheed or Tawheed doesn't even make sense.
They come up here with these arguments, but ask them one question on their belief and they're running. They're literally running, literally panic mode.
Yeah.
Especially these guys that like try to steal arguments from other people. Like those are the easiest ones to catch because they're not actually like studying. They're just copying. And when they're copying, they don't know how to defend their belief because they're copying from people who don't defend their belief. They're just trying to get out someone else to waffle. But anyway.
My battery's been dying quick lately. All right.
What you said?
My battery it's been dying quick lately.
Wow.
Might need to get a new battery soon. All right, guys, stop the screen. Otherwise, this might be an early one today. I'll give it another like 20 minutes or so. See if some other people come up. But yeah, that score boom guy, bro, he is just. And the funny thing is, man, like I kind of want him to think that he cooked me in the sense that just keep bringing this stupid argument. We'll keep presenting it to other Christians so that they respond back to him until it just gets until every Christian just hears the response. And it's just when it becomes one of those lost arguments again, like Mark 13:32. It's like, bro, recycled ass arguments. The funny thing about his argument is it actually exposes the problem of Tawheed. The fact that he thinks that a unipersonal God can ground the reality of love on his own, like just by himself, that's just one person, is the part that's funny. It's like you see that through his illogical way of thinking, he's presenting this argument as if it's logical. That's the hilarious part about it.
You tapping?
Yeah, I'm tapping the phone.
Assalamu alaikum.
I'm tapping the screen. That's what I'm doing. What's up? What's up, bro? Hello. Going once. Billy, going twice. All right. See you later. Yeah, I was tapping the phone. Sorry.
That's okay.
I was trying to get the likes up with everybody. I didn't know it was making all that noise though.
No, it wasn't that bad. I just didn't know what that noise was.
Trying to get the likes up with everybody. That's all. Shout out to Visual Dawn. Shout out to Logan on YouTube. Shout out to everybody. Don't forget, we're streaming this on YouTube. If you missed the Best Morning Live, we got the stream every single day being uploaded on YouTube. I am going to work on some new content today to drop. So be on the lookout. Why should you choose Christianity compared to other religions? Because Christianity is the most logical. That's why. Thank you, my queen.
It's the most logical.
I like when you pin it.
Oh, okay. There it is, pinned. And remember, you be echoing on that thing, so this guy's trying to come up again. Can you hear us this time?
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Does this work this time, or does it not work?
I can hear you this time. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
You can hear me. I cannot hear you at all.
Oh, man. Sorry, dude. I don't know what to tell you. All right, brother. Sorry. I don't know what could possibly be. Restart your app? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe if you have headphones, put on your headphones. If you weren't wearing them, if you are wearing them, take them off. I don't know, bro. No, I know you do. This guy requested last time. He didn't talk at all. And then he said in the comments, I went up there, but I couldn't hear you. So now he's trying again. We could hear him this time, but he still can't hear me. So, and on it goes, you know? So, Mr. Reddit Atheist, restart your app. If you're wearing headphones, take them off. If you're not, put on some headphones. So, try all that. See if that works.
Hey, don't let the trauma that people instilled in you and like blame it on God. So if you're not Christian because you're traumatized by something someone did, it's not a very good reason to not be Christian. It doesn't mean God doesn't exist. So just putting that out there for those in the chats. Or you can come up and talk about it. We know a little something about trauma.
Man, the ops are slow today. I like the ops that were, well, most of the ops that came up. Because his new argument.
That slow one. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that guy was like, that guy was moving way slow motion like crazy.
Yeah, that guy was slow talking are hard.
That's tough. But yeah, we in that zombie wave right now, or between waves. Between zombie waves. Because I'm Catholic. That's why you're not Christian, Jay.
Is Catholic not Christian?
That's what I thought. I thought they were Christian. Am I bugging?
Interesting. We're Catholics then.
Catholics not calling themselves Christian anymore? Priscilla says there's no trauma, but definitely being judged.
Yeah, I mean, everybody judging everybody. So, I mean, that doesn't mean God don't exist.
Yeah.
Everybody judge everybody.
Christians doing stupid things don't mean Christianity is false.
Yeah, but also judging is not even like, we judge, you guys are judging us, we judge God. It's like not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just how we just learn things. Oh my God.
Oh, it's this guy again. It's the new waves, guys. The waves keep coming.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep. What's up?
Am I audible?
You're audible.
Yeah. So, from our previous interaction till now, have you learned how to define a part yet? When you told me part is defined as a part.
Well, from our last conversation, what I got out of it was you don't want to define anything.
I can give you my analytical criteria of parthood.
I don't know if that's going to help, but sure, if you want, go ahead.
Yeah, so I take parthood to be divided between ontological constituents and formal constituents. Ontological constituents are going to be the constituents that are causal, and for any x is a constituent if and only if it's a subset or an element of a certain set.
All right, so Vienna.
And that's a priority link.
So Vienna, real quick. Let me just interject real quick so you don't go on this long thing and ask you to do it all over again. I understand that you study philosophy, and that's cool that
I'm not formally trained in philosophy.
Okay, no, whatever you want to call yourself, and whatever level of training it is. Okay, whatever it is,
I've only been in philosophy for a year.
Okay, good. So whatever amount of training you have in philosophy and stuff like that, that's great. Okay, but understand that we have an audience, that the purpose of this live is for people to catch on to what you're saying. So can you repeat what you just said, and can you just simplify the terms?
So parthood is going to be something that is a constituent. So there are two types, a formal and an ontological constituent. I've already exhausted this account. A formal is going to be within logical priority, while something like ontological is going to be within ontological priority. Now, ontological is going to relate to causality, causation. Do you know what causation is?
Define it for everybody.
Okay, so causation is going to be the doctrine of cause and effect. You're following so far? That's that famous saying, cause and effect. Now, within causation, there are multiple positions. Realism, anti-realism, quasi-realism, quasi-Quintinian, little Aristotelian, all of these different positions. And from one of them, there is the medieval atemporal account. Now, I believe causation is inherently temporal. Given that, atemporal causation is going to be fictitious. It's not real. Thus, I don't believe any ontological constituents are going to be in a relation wherein they're causally prior but not temporally prior, because causally prior is just another way of saying temporally prior under my analytical criteria. That's one. Two, I wanted to ask you, do you forfeit your argument that, oh, God mysteriously loves and God so on and so forth, therefore his three persons? Because I gave you an account where reflexive relations don't need a distinct entities in reality at all. For example, I love myself, I'm proud of myself, and so on and so forth. These are formally consistent. So do you retract your dumb claim, Tawheed is illogical?
So is one of his attributes taking vengeance?
Sorry?
Is one of his attributes taking vengeance?
What does that mean?
Being the avenger.
Sure.
Okay. So was he taking vengeance on himself before creation?
Was he taking? I don't believe God is essentially. I believe God is essentially just, but not God is.
According, real quick, brother.
Avenger.
Real quick, brother. Well, his attribute equal to Allah?
What does it mean to be equal? Identical? No.
Okay, so it's not identical. So it's not.
I want to ask you.
Yeah. So once again, hold on. I'm not done. So you're saying that the love argument is stupid because he can love himself eternally, right? So then that would necessarily. Then that means if that's your, then that means. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Thank you very much. I'm not done. So that means Vienna, that would have to apply for the other attributes as well. So was he taking vengeance? Was he taking, since his attribute can be done to himself eternally, which is why it doesn't need another person? Was he taking vengeance on himself?
No, that doesn't follow. I'll tell you why. There is something called act qua intrinsic act, which is going to be the ability of God, and there's going to be act qua the act and action. Act and action. Sorry, I misspoke there. So keep that in mind. There is act qua the ability to act, and act qua an act and action. So when I ask you there, was God always the creator? Sorry, I got a call. Am I audible?
You are.
Yeah. So, oh my God, hold
on. So there was a point where he wasn't acting, and then he's acting. Got it.
Hello? Mm-hmm. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I got a call. Anyways, so I'll give you an example. So God, for instance, God, was he always the creator of Moses? Was he even always the creator simpliciter? No, he was not, because the universe, presumably you're a Christian, you believe the universe had a beginning. Now, does that mean God was not always capable of creating? No, it does not. We even see this analogically to our own practices and observations. And language inherently is consistent with our observations and practices. So for instance, I tell you, Bear, you're not powerful. So why do you say I'm not powerful? Oh, because you never climbed Mount Everest. So it's like, I have the power to do that. That doesn't mean I lack the power to do that.
Right.
With me so far? So that is the difference between act, qua intrinsic act, which refers to the ability, or essential act, and act qua innate act, which is referring to like the act in action.
So you're talking about basically. So what you're saying is that the ability.
The difference between ability and it being active.
Right. So in other words, you're talking about Vienna. Hold on, bro. Just to understand. So I'm tracking.
Let me finish my point.
I'm just gonna clarify what you said. So I'm tracking. So what you're saying is that he has the ability to do whatever attribute we're talking about. But then there's a difference between having the ability and it being actualized, correct?
Sorry?
There's a difference between him having the ability eternally and it being actualized. It meaning whatever attribute we're talking about at the moment.
Exactly. And what do you think an attribute is? What do you think that means?
Well, are you defining the attribute as something he possesses within himself?
Yeah, what does that mean? Within, I don't believe God is a room within himself. What does within even mean?
Within his nature.
Yeah, that's using within again.
No, it's not.
You said what does within mean, and you said
within his nature. Yes.
What does within mean?
Well, then you would have to define to me what you mean. I'm talking about within his nature. So if it's not that, what is it
what
then?
does that mean?
It means within his nature. It's an attribute of his nature.
That's again reiterating the same account.
Okay, then why don't you clarify then, Vienna? What's your position?
Okay, so let's get this clear. You're incapable of defining these terms.
It's not.
So
It's not. It's not up to. It's not up to me to define. Hey, Vienna. It's not. Vienna. Listen, bro. Listen. I'm actually trying to have a cordial conversation with you, but you're trying to get these little. You're trying to get these little gotcha moments and stuff like that, bro. It's not the burden of proof is not on me to explain your own position. What is your position as far as the attribute? Is it within his nature or not? How do you define it then?
You're interrupting me when I'm trying to give my account. Number one, I didn't say you have the burden to explain my position. That's a straw man. What I said is that since you don't know these semantics, therefore you're not apt to critiques.
Then why are you here? Then why are you here, Vienna? Why are you here?
Let me finish.
Then why are you here? Why don't you establish? Why don't you then stop with the nonsense and just get to your position?
Do you want to hear what it means or not?
I want to hear your position. I don't care how you would define it. Are the attributes within his nature? Or if you're saying no, you don't know what that means, then tell me what the attribute is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it means. But for clarity's sake, that means you're not apt to critiques. You're apt to an inquiry. Two, I'll tell you what it means.
Vienna, just get to it, bro.
For instance,
stop the nonsense.
For instance, attribute means property. Are you following? There are different sets of properties: extrinsic, intrinsic, essential. Are you following so far? This is basic stuff. Mr. Intrinsic and essential meant the same thing yesterday.
They actually do the same thing. But yeah, go ahead.
God's ability to act is an essential property, but God's act of creating me is not essential. He was free to do otherwise.
Okay.
It's libertarian. 1 minute. Hold on, relax yourself. And now, this could be seen for anything. God's ability to be the avenger, that is essential. By God's act of avenging, let's say, Moses from the people that were trying to kill him. That is, or unalive him, my bad. That was a specific act done in time. And that act is not essential.
Okay.
Are you following so far?
So the ability, Vienna, clarifying question. Before you move on, before you go on this long tangent, bro. Vienna, bro, come on, dude. Show some respect. I got a clarifying question. So is the ability something that is essential to him?
Of course.
Is it identical to his nature?
What does it mean for a property to be identical to a nature?
Is it within his nature?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Is it within his nature? Does he possess it within his nature?
That's begging a question. What does that mean?
It means is it something that he holds within his nature and it's eternal? He has
holds within. What do you mean holds? When you say holds, I think of grasping.
Yeah. Does he grasp? Hey. Okay. So the ability. Hold on. The ability. Let's do it like this. Is the ability identical to his nature? Yes or no?
Is the ability, what does it mean for a property to be identical to a nature?
Is it separate?
What does that mean? What does separability mean?
Oh my God, dude. This is a very simple terms, mister. These are just basic terms. Is the ability separate from his nature?
Okay, let me answer for you because you're clearly struggling. Anyways.
Can you answer? No, look, Vienna. No more games anymore. There's nothing more simple than separate. Even a child understands what separate means. No more games, Vienna.
Listen.
Answer the question. Is the ability separate from his nature? Yes or no?
It's not separate.
Is it okay? So they're not separate. They're distinct but not separate. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So now,
hold on, let me finish.
So now, thank you very much, because according to Tawheed, there's no multiplicity within God. If you're going to make a distinction between his ability and his essence, but they're not separate, then you have violated Tawheed. It's no longer simple anymore. There's no multiplicity within Tawheed.
Okay, for everybody watching, he said Tawheed means no distinctions within God.
Exactly what it means.
Anybody that doesn't
exactly
believe in
what it
distinctions
means.
within God does not believe in Tawheed.
Okay.
Are you following?
All right. So here, let me prove it. Actually, let me prove it. Let me prove it to you that it's a problem. Let me prove it to you as it being a problem. Okay. So the attributes. So here I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna prove it to you. You're not the one running this live. No, no. We're not gonna go on to the point anymore. The point is relevant now. We're going on to my argument now. We're going on to my argument now. When it comes to all right, Vienna, you talk one more time when I'm about to talk.
Give me the opportunity to speak.
See you later, brother. See you later. Now, here's the problem. All right. The ability is not separate from his essence. It's eternal. Eternal means unchanging. He, and I'm going to clip this, just explained that the ability of Allah that is eternal goes from being inactive to active, meaning that your God is potent. He changes. Allah changes. His ability is not separate from his essence, according to you. They're inseparable, which means that these attributes identify Allah. If Allah changes in any way, he is no longer eternal. Dummy. Mr. I've only been trained in philosophy for 1 year, whatever the case is. Oh, these are simple terms. You don't understand this? Listen to what he was saying. What's separate mean? What does separate mean? If this ability is not separate from his essence, and by the way, you say, oh, distinct, it doesn't mean if there's a distinction between his ability and his essence, that doesn't mean it violates Tawheed. It absolutely does violate Tawheed. But nonetheless, I'll grant it to you. If his ability is tied to Allah and Allah is eternal and it's not separate from Allah, then that means that Allah is potent. He changes. He goes from not acting to acting. Period. And he's dependent on this ability to be actualized on his creation.
I noticed, I've noticed after doing this a while with you that they literally change their theology depending on what kind of Christian you're
Exactly
talking
right.
to. They go from like ADS to EED to like literally like just a bunch of different
So whatever works for them at the time.
worldviews. And then I also noticed that you're right about this because I think you mentioned this before. They only want to get into like metaphysics and like all this type of stuff when it comes to God, and like philosophy and stuff. It's because they can't go to their Quran. Like they won't. Like I don't even care if they could be 100% logical in their metaphysic arguments or their philosophical arguments, and you go to their Quran and they're still wrong every time. Like if your Quran is wrong, your religion is wrong, no matter how good you're at for describing God. Like that's just what it is. Like get that good at defending the Quran. Like because it doesn't matter how you describe God if the Quran is contradictory and false. Yeah. But anyway, you did say that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm glad he explained, and he thinks he thought he was explaining this like in a way where it's like, oh yeah, this is so good. His ability that's tied to his essence, that by the way is not separate from his essence, right? Goes from being active to inactive. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So Allah, how can Allah be unchanging and eternal if he is dependent on creation, not only dependent on creation, but actually goes from being inactive to active? That is hilarious. But thank you, bro. Thank you for the insight. What's up?
Thank you for content.
What's up? Okay, see you later. Oh, there they go. Maybe they dropped by accident. What's up? Hello, you're live. Okay.
Yeah, they're probably having like difficulties.
Why are people? So that's the second person that says that though. So there's got to be something going on with TikTok.
He said he's gonna restart, so maybe try to come back.
Okay. Yeah, if two people are doing that, then that means there's something going on with it.
Yeah,
Hey,
y'all.
hey,
Y'all
Vienna, thanks for coming, brother. Your God's potent. Appreciate it, brother. There's no need to talk anymore. We already said that in front of all these people. What's up?
Yo, what's up there?
What's up?
I just had a question. And are you not Christian? So if something changes, then it's not eternal, and then it's not God anymore. Did God speak to the Jews at Mount Horeb?
Are you a Muslim?
Yeah, I'm a Muslim.
Were you here yesterday? Is this Ahmed or whatever your name is?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, okay. So what were you saying?
So did God speak to the Jews at Mount Horeb? Did they hear his voice?
Yeah.
Okay, so did God go from a state of not speaking to speaking?
That would be
eternally speaking to the Jews?
that would be the energies affecting the creation.
Okay, so he went from a point of not speaking to speaking.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so he was eternally speaking.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the person, like I meant. Oh, you weren't here earlier, but the persons is what grounds everything when it comes to relational things that are eternal within God. But as far as the energies are concerned and the communication with His creation, it is uncreated energies that affect the creation. So yes, they would audibly hear God, but that doesn't mean that His energies went from being inactive to active.
So is God's speech identical to him, or is this distinct from him?
Identical to what?
To God's essence.
The energies are not identical to the essence. No.
Okay, so this is distinct from God, and God goes from a point of not speaking to speaking. So he does have potency.
No, that's not what I said at all.
So he was eternally speaking to the Jews. He was always speaking to them.
No, like I said, that would be the result. That would be the result of the Jews hearing whatever it is that he's communicating. But the energy in which where they were hearing from is uncreated and eternal. It just affects creation, but it doesn't affect him.
Yeah, it's a strict dichotomy. Was he always speaking, or did he go from a point of not speaking to speaking?
So when you're saying speaking, when you're referring to the Jews. So were the Jews eternally hearing him speak? No, they weren't.
Okay, so then there was a point when they didn't hear anything, and then they heard something. So there was a point when God wasn't speaking, and then he spoke.
When he was speaking, it's through the uncreated energies. Therefore, they heard the communication. It's like this, bro. It's like here. Let me give you an analogy. Okay.
I didn't ask how it's done.
Let me give you an analogy. Okay. So a tree or a flower that gets planted, it needs a source in order for it to grow. One of the sources will be the sunlight. The sunlight shines on that plant, and then it begins to grow. That doesn't mean that the sunlight began to start being the source just because the plant began receiving it as a source.
Okay, now watch this. This is not analogous. Is the sun always up? Is the sun always giving it its rays and its light?
Yes, doofus.
No, what? So wait, the plant is 24 hours in
the sun doesn't change, brother. It stays in the same position.
I'm saying for 24 hours in a day, are the rays given?
Yes, the rays. Yes, the rays are always. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me respond. The sun is constantly giving out the rays, but the position of the earth depends on what it's being received or not. Doofus. The sun doesn't move. That's my point.
So what God said at Mount Horeb to the Jews, he's eternally saying this.
The energy is that in which they receive that communication is eternal and unchanging. Okay, so what changes, what decides as to whether they hear the speech and it's being communicated is on the creature itself.
Okay, so God is eternally speaking.
No, okay, bro. So you're not actually hearing what I'm saying. Yeah, bro, dude, you're stuck. Dude, you're stuck. You're stuck. Just like you got stuck yesterday, brother. You just like you got stuck. Thank you for the clip, by the way. But just like you got stuck yesterday with the whole you put your foot in your mouth by going to the Targums, and you wanted to run away from that and go back to well you conceded the argument because you gave me the whole Rome thing, bro. Get the hell out of here, bro. You definitely not on my level, bro. See you later, clown. Yes, the energies didn't change. The energy in which the creatures heard the communication doesn't change. What changes is the creature receiving the energy. Just like the plant, whether because the plant is not moving in itself, but it's on an earth that's spinning, will depend on how it receives the rays. The rays and the sun doesn't move, and it continuously gives the rays. Thank you very much. See you later. What a doofus, yo. This is probably going to be Vienna again or something. What's up?
Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think I'm lagging.
It doesn't show you lagging, but I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Wait 1 sec, I don't hear those.
Mm-hmm. Sieves, that actually is the Orthodox position, brother.
Okay, anyways, yo, host, I have a question.
Yeah, you Muslim?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about why I'm not a Christian, or you want to talk about your previous claims regarding Tawhid?
I want to know why you're not a Christian.
Why I'm not a Christian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would say like the Trinity and divine simplicity are incoherent, which are fundamental to Christian theology, or like have their roots in Christian theology.
You said because they do have.
No, because the Trinity and like I believe the Trinity is incoherent.
Oh, incoherent. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I don't believe. Yeah.
Okay, why?
Yeah. So first of all, you could argue that the Bible is transitivity.
The law of
transitivity is?
The law of transitivity. So A equals B, B equals C, therefore A equals C. Yeah. What about it?
Yeah. So if you say Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God, it would follow by transitivity of identity that the Father is the Son, because identity is of a relation. So if you say all three persons are identical to God, they would be identical to each other.
Yeah, but we don't believe the persons are identical to the essence or the nature.
So they are not identical to the essence or nature?
They're distinct.
Okay, so what's the relation between the person and the essence?
Well, the person possesses is the underlying reality of the nature, but it's distinct from the nature.
Yeah, so that's fine. So that's like espousing like a social Trinitarian understanding of Trinity. So you would say, so you can just construe the relation between the persons to the essence. It's like predicate if you're saying they're predicated for the divine essence. I think that just leads to tritheism, will lead to polytheism. Because the way we count the sinner to
do me a favor. Slow down, dude. Like you're like going like 100 miles per hour. Slow down what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm saying that if you say the persons are not identical to the essence, they have the essence. You're attributing the essence to these three distinct subjects. So you're predicating it to the Father, Son, and Spirit. I believe that leads to polytheism.
No, because when we're predicating, the identity of the hypostasis is based on their relations or the of the hypostasis, like the properties of the hypostasis. That's how the identity is being identified. But if we're going to question whether these persons are divine, it's whether they possess the divine nature or not. Now, possession of the divine nature, you can be distinct from the nature and possess it. So that's not a problem.
So you're saying the identity of the persons is established through their properties, and like they possess the divine nature?
The hypostatic properties is how you're identified, yes.
Yeah. So that's what distinguishes these persons. It would be like these unique hypostatic properties. So like the Father's begotten, the Son, or the Father's unbegotten, the Son's begotten.
That's correct.
Holy Spirit's spirit, whatever. But that's fine. I'm saying that like when you attribute this divine essence to these three distinct subjects, it would entail polytheism by the standard way of how we count predicates, because we count predicates by the amount of subjects which satisfy them. So like for instance, if I say bear the image is human, reformed patria is human, and peace apologetics is human, we are predicating the same term human to three distinct subjects, and hence there are three humans. So when we say the Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God, we are predicating the term God to the three distinct subjects or persons, until that there are three gods.
Yeah. Okay, I heard everything you said, but can you just next time you speak, but you don't have to repeat it. Just go slow.
Yeah,
just go slower, please. But I heard everything, so you don't need to repeat it. But the difference between on your analogy here is because there is actually you're comparing something that's within creation.
Try not to say yeah so much.
the humans that you're comparing, like us three humans, you're right. We are all human by nature, but we're not the same identical humans. We're talking about the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. They possess the same identical nature with no separation. So the essence is not the nature is not separated or divided. So that's the difference.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's exactly like the problem, because you're saying that what you would say, like, what makes them one God is like them possessing this common divine nature, right?
Yeah, the identical one. Yes, it's not.
Yeah, but like
they're not similar. They're not divided.
Wait, why wouldn't bear the image and reformed entity be the same human? If I say like they're indiscernible under the human nature, because we both have the human nature,
because
we're not the same human nature, insofar as we both have the same properties,
because we're not the same. We're not identical. We're born in different times.
That's because
hold
we
on,
have different
hold on, brother.
properties.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Because we're not identical in nature. All right, we're born at different times. We're made of different matter, and we are in different locations. There's separation.
Yeah, but we still have the same human nature. Even Gregory of Nyssa says we have to human. He addresses this objection that humans, like, even though like humans, we are two humans, they have the founder the same humanity, yet become still three men. So like we still have the same human nature insofar as we have the same set of essential properties to be for what it means to be human. We are both rational animals.
This is not. But the human this human analogy is not going to be analogous to what we're claiming God. We're saying that the Father, Son, Holy Spirit possess the same nature. They're the same being. They're not separate. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's just. Wait, you can count two gods even though they are. You can count two things even though they are like inseparable.
You can count what?
Yeah, you can count. Yeah, like when you're bringing up this inseparability, that's irrelevant. You can count two gods even though they're inseparable.
No, I don't, because the God isn't being referenced to the nature.
Wait, when you say, wait 1 second, would you say, for instance, that the human and divine nature are inseparable in Christ, but yet we still count two natures? So bringing up this inseparability like doesn't matter. The point is like the standard way of counting predicates. It would entail that there are three gods because we assign this predicate of being God to three distinct subjects.
But there's but the thing is, you're counting in predicates with the assumption that persons are going to be identical to the nature. They're distinct, brother. So because those are two distinct things, you're conflating two things into one. And what I'm telling you is, as far as what our belief is, we don't believe the persons are identical to the nature. So when we're saying that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are God, that is in predication to their nature. So which is the same one.
There's an identity relation between the persons of God.
Because when you're saying we're counting by predicate, and just because we're predicating the same identical nature to three persons, you're automatically saying that means those are three separate gods. But the distinction is clarifying that the essence is not separate or something different. It's identical. So when you're and because there's a distinction between nature and persons, when you count the nature to see how many gods there are, there's only one. But if you're counting the persons and how many persons there are within that underlying reality of that nature, there are three, and those are two distinct things: personhood and nature.
Yeah, there's still going to be, you're still going to profess that there's one nature, but still the point is that the term God, we ascribe it to three distinct subjects, and given the standard way of counting predicates, there would be three gods. You're saying that they're not identical to this like divine nature, like they possess the divine nature. That's fine. Even my analogy doesn't assume that humans are like identical to, like we from or bear the image is identical to the term human, because strictly speaking, we wouldn't be identical to the term human. We would just possess a set of properties for what makes it essential to be like human. So like I don't understand like why you're saying that.
Because I don't. So here's the thing. Let's just do it like this. When I say something like when we're counting, if we're going to see that there's multiple gods, we would need to see if there's multiple essences or natures. Is that fair for me to say? That in order for it to be polytheism, there would need to be multiple natures.
Yeah, there would be multiple things of this kind, like multiple things of this kind.
Yeah,
God.
Right. So hold on. I'm just going to go down this line of questioning, so that because the thing is, I'm not necessarily adopting how you're counting through predication. I'm not going to accept that. And here's my reasonings why. Well, at least I'm going to give you my reasonings. You can point out if there's anything incoherent here. So if if there's nothing wrong with saying, well, in order for there to be polytheism, there needs to be different beings that are separate. And if there's only one being, which means there is one God, then I would reject on how you're counting and say that if we're going to see if there's multiple gods, you would need to then show me in our belief where we believe that there's multiple beings, or why it has to be multiple beings. Oh, you're muted, by the way. I didn't mute you.
Okay, so you're asking me to show me how there are multiple beings. So first of all, like, I never claimed that you profess that there are multiple beings. I'm doing internal critique, so I'm assuming your position is showing that it's self-refuting, because given the standard way of counting predicates, there would be multiple gods, even though you don't profess that there are multiple gods or multiple beings. That's the point. I don't say that you believe this. I'm saying that it's an entailment of what you believe in conjunction with the standard way of counting objects.
Why would I need to accept the counting that you're trying to impose?
Then it's just special pleading. You're just creating an exception to
No. I'm asking you to substantiate. You're holding me to this standard of counting the way you're saying in order for it to be true. I'm asking you, why do I need to hold that?
Yeah, it's just prima facie. It's just a standard way of counting objects.
According to who? Why would that be why would this standard that you're trying to apply?
Everyday life, when we count.
Why would you? Hold on. I don't look. There's things people do in everyday life all the time. I don't, that's not an answer. I'm asking you.
We agree that you're special.
Just here. No, I'm not. The special pleading would come from if this is an internal critique. I'm just asking, brother. Listen. Your argument is based on a standard that I'm asking you to substantiate as to why I need to take that standard.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, like why you should. Okay, what's the alternative standard?
I don't know. You're the one that's bringing a standard.
Okay, so you don't have any alternative standard.
No, I already told you how I'm. Hold on. Actually, hold on. You're asking me to give you a standard to bring to me. I already gave you my standard multiple times. No, you didn't. No, yes, I did. When we're counting, where there's a difference between counting the persons and counting the natures.
Okay,
that's going to be the difference, because they are distinct from each other. Now, you're saying I can't. You're saying it doesn't matter if I take that. I need to take the standard of counting by predication like you're imposing. And I'm just asking you, can you bring me why I need to adopt that?
Yeah, we just say by the process of elimination. There's no any other alternative standard.
Okay, yeah.
Which
means you don't have an answer. Thank you for coming, bro. See you later. I don't need to take that standard. I don't know what the hell, like, you're trying to pigeonhole me to a standard that it's like I need to count because what you're telling me I need to count. Okay, just go ahead. Just tell me you need to substantiate.
Hey, that was really dishonest.
Who are you?
I literally just hopped up, but that was really dishonest when you kicked him.
Okay, so
are you just gonna be dishonest, or
why do I care what you think?
I mean, you don't have to care about anything.
Okay, good. So then, why did I ask for your opinion?
I mean, you should care.
Did I ask for your opinion?
No.
Did I ask for your opinion, bro? Did I ask for that? Okay. See you later, clown. You can go kick rocks too. Kick rocks. I love it, man. The funny thing is, the reason why all of these philosophers are coming out the woodwork is because I put 2 videos out. They didn't even get a lot of views on Tawheed. 2 videos on Tawheed, and it just ruffled some feathers, man. The Muslims, they love to prey on people who don't know the Trinity and get clips and make fun and do it. Fine, that's fine. All the Muslims have every right to do that. And these Christians that are going up that don't know about the Trinity and trying to debate this stuff, they shouldn't be going up there, because if you don't know what you're talking about, don't do it. Period. But the funny thing is that you Muslims, you can do it all day long, and I'm okay with that. But don't get mad when I do it back. And my videos didn't even get a lot of views. I just caught a couple Muslims who don't know any better admit that their God. And by the way, even the ones that know better, like we had earlier today, admitting their God has potency, but nonetheless, that they don't know any better, and they admit that basically their God has parts, and then we laugh at them. Don't get mad when we do that back to your people. Don't do that.
The problem is that you could literally get their theology completely down, like 100%. You could study Tawhid and know exactly what that doctrine is, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, that's not what it means. Oh no, well I don't hold to that. Oh no, it means something else. Oh, like they'll just switch up the entire belief once you actually have something on them. They'll just change their mind, change their whole like belief system, as if that's possible. But
Yeah, no, it's insane. And then here's the common trend of what happens, right? When they start getting stuck, because I'll go down the conversation, but once they start circling and can't answer questions anymore, what's the point? It's just going to get to the point of like, if you're not going to answer the questions I'm asking anymore, we're just going around in circles. It's just going to lead to something that is not fruitful anymore, right? But the minute they get stuck, and it's like, okay, bro, thanks for coming. You got stuck. It's in the comments. You got spanked so hard, bro. I clipped this. I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna show this to everybody. They're gonna start sharing and laughing and whatever. Like, cool, bro. Like, I don't. It really, it's all good, bro. Just hey, I'm still gonna be catching when the layman Muslims come up and they start to try to bring arguments on Trinity. I'm gonna keep bringing the Tawhid argument, and we're gonna keep clipping them, and we're gonna have fun too. It's all good. You can do it to Christians and have fun. I actually enjoy watching certain Christians get cooked when they don't know any better, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and do it right back to some of the other Muslims too. And don't get mad at it. It's just, it is what it is, bro. Just, it is what it is. So, anyways. Guys, don't forget the YouTube. Don't forget to follow Peace as well. She's going to be going live today, right, my love? You going live or no?
yes.
Okay, good. All right, so she will be going live shortly. Sounds like she's getting coffee right now. So after she gets coffee, I don't know, guys. I'll take a new guest here. If a new guest comes here in a little bit, I'll take a new guest. If not, I'm just gonna wrap it up.
You don't have one right now?
Just the last guy that that got stuck. Oh, why should I count by predication? Because process elimination. Everybody counts in everyday life like that. Okay. All right. Well, there it is. King Soph. Make a whole mess of your Tawheed. They upset because
you should have them cook them right now since there's nobody here anyway. Do it for the content.
You want to? Hey, so do you want to come up and debate him on Tawhid? I already did a debate on Tawhid earlier, bro, and I'm wrapping this up. But yeah, I know that's all they get. Special pleading, bro. Special pleading. Yeah, like when the minute you present a belief that actually, because remember these are internal critiques they're doing, right? The minute you present to them a belief within your, like something within your belief that they need to adopt if it's going to be a internal critique, then it's special pleading. Anything, it's just like kind of like when you bring a hadith that goes against Islam. All of us, it's a weak hadith. Weak. We're gonna throw it under the bus.
Dang, don't say Ibn Kathir is weak.
Weak. No, Ibn Kathir is weak. Ibn Kathir did it. Like there was one time I don't take from Ibn Kathir. I just don't take from him. But yeah, it's gonna be the minute you bring something like that, it's gonna be weak. So when they do an internal critique on you, right, and they're trying to present the Trinity, and then the minute you bring something within your belief that actually refutes them, that wouldn't make sense. No, special pleading. No. That's a weak belief. Weak, daif. No. You can't believe that. You can't.
Some of their best scholars.
You cannot believe that within your belief because that refutes my argument. So you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to bring anything that refutes my argument. Okay, bro. Thank you. You're running so hard, brother. You're running. Yeah, Ibn Ashaq is weak. We don't know if that was actually Ibn Ashaq that wrote that. Ibn Abbas, same thing with Ibn Abbas. We don't know. We don't know if that was actually him. Ibn Kathir, I don't know. I don't know if Ibn Kathir was really a scholar. I don't know. I do
Yeah,
not
it
know.
should be we believe what we want.
Yeah,
It
whatever
should cut off
suits
the
whatever
sentence.
suits me at this time.
It's we believe what we want. We don't actually believe in Islam in its entirety.
Mhm.
They just believe in bits and pieces.
Yeah,
They just believe God
Qurtubi,
is one.
Al-Qurtubi and Al-Tabari. They're weak too. Weak, very weak. Everything weak. The Quran, weak. Very that verse, I don't know if that verse was there. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I'm not a scholar. That's their favorite thing to say too.
Is that what the Quran says? No. It says that, but it doesn't actually mean what it says, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's not what that means. No. The Arabic word doesn't mean that. The Arabic word changes when it's referring to Allah. It changes. It has 1 billion different meanings to it. 1 billion. I'm so confused. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right. Christianity
No,
confuses
yes,
them.
confusion. I'm so confused. How can 3 be 1? How can 3 be 1?
Well, they can't change their. It's because we don't change our beliefs in Christianity, so they're so confused. How does what it says? How does it mean what it actually says?
So confused. I don't know. You don't know Arabic. Do you know Arabic? Yeah, exactly. Oh, you don't know Arabic, bro, baby. That's why you don't understand. You don't understand. In Arabic, this word can mean so many different things. You don't understand. Yeah, but your scholars say that it means the same thing I'm saying. No, Ibn Kathir, he don't know. You don't know what he's talking about. That's not what it means, brother. That's not what it means. Scholars are not the authority. No. They're not the authority, okay? It's a weak scholar. Daif. Yeah, that's another thing. You ever read the Quran, brother, with an open heart, ready to receive it? No. That's why you're not a Muslim, brother. You need to be open to it. You need to accept. In order to accept the Quran, you need to accept the Quran before you read it. And while you're reading it, you need to accept it, and then you'll accept it. That's what happens. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, until I decide to accept it, what's the point?
You gotta accept Islam first, brother, and then you can read the Quran.
Exactly.
Accept Islam, then read the Quran.
Then read it. Then you'll see it.
And then learn the Arabic.
Right. The Arabic will help.
And whenever you're confused, brother, it doesn't mean what it says.
Right. It doesn't mean. And if a scholar says something that's contradicting, he is not a scholar.
It was a weak
scholar.
Weak scholar.
I don't even, and I've even had some Muslims say, I don't even trust Quran.com. I don't trust it. I don't know. I think Christians hacked it. Okay.
Yo, the hyper skepticism in like Islam.
Only when it benefits. Only when it benefits, they do hyper skepticism.
It's so crazy. I cannot even deal. I can't.
Possibly. I got some work I got to do. I'm probably gonna wrap this up here soon. But just text me, bro. Text me. Just text me. Yeah, fabricated hadith. Daif. It's not real. Fabricated. All right, guys. It's 11 a.m. I got some work I got to do. Might get some stuff out there. But thank you guys for joining the Best Morning Live on TikTok and the Best Morning Live on YouTube. Don't forget to go subscribe. All right, go watch the videos. We are that much closer to the watch hours. I would say in another week or two we should be good. So we can start getting super chats. Probably in another week. So definitely go watch the videos. If you haven't watched it, go like the videos, go comment on them, please. I appreciate that. Definitely helps with everything. God bless you. Shadow Rodin, IXM, Nemesis, King Sylv, Adrian, Dylan, who was here. Who else? Connor. Who else? Tori was here earlier. She's in the YouTube. Logan was in the YouTube. Who else we got? Dang.
Hello.
How do these people get up here?
I was in the YouTube too.
Oh yes, you were, of course. But I already gave you a shout out, my love. How'd you guys get up here?
I don't know.
Who's letting these people up?
I have no idea.
It said you invited me, bro.
I did not do none of that. But anyway, I don't know. I guess this is weird. No, I didn't try to invite you guys, but love you guys. I gave you guys a shout out. I'm about to shut it down. But thank you guys, everybody on YouTube. Frankie. Oh, Frankie's probably the one that invited you guys because he's over here sweating. But love you guys. Shout out to all of you guys. Love thank you for everything you guys do. Professor Gabe, shout out to you. But thank you guys. Appreciate it. I gotta go get some work done. But until next time, till tomorrow, Best Morning Live on TikTok. God bless you guys. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Oh, that's right. Hit the follow button on Peach. She's going live here in a minute. She got her coffee early, so we're getting on a live early. Let's go. All right, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate it. God bless you guys. Go check out the YouTube.